to his AFL, and the AFL is far different to basketball because you don't need half as much knowledge in your head. It's basically chase the ball, get it to the person. There's not a million offences, there's not a million defences. So the game of basketball may have similar principles, but it is so structured, it's so detailed, it's not funny. Now, when I'm teaching young kids, I'm teaching core fundamentals. I'm teaching how to use screens, how to block out, how to get all the footwork correct and get absolutely everything correct. As I get higher, I'm teaching offenses and defenses, and when we're at an NBL club, you're looking at 40 plus offenses for every team. So every player has to know every offense, and every one of those offenses have counters. So if the defense does this, you will do this, which sets this off, and so that's a highly intelligent game. Now, to be in charge of a highly intelligent game, you guys have to be fairly smart. And if you weren't, you wouldn't be here. Because you've got to know, that's what this game has probably got the most violations, the most decisions you have to make, the most judgment stuff I've ever seen. And I feel sorry for you guys because your life's been made so much harder. Back in our early days, it was easy. 3 seconds was 3 seconds. Travel was travel. Now you guys get to make judgment calls. And in my opinion, you can't win. Because if you make a judgment call, that might be good for one team, but the other team's going, why is that not a travel? Why is that not 3 seconds? So you guys have got the toughest job in the world. All right? And as coaches, we're going to adjust to situations like that. I know when the 3 second rule came in, I had real trouble with that, where they're saying, look, we're not going to call 3 seconds unless you're gaining advantage. And so anyone on the weak side wasn't considered an advantage. And I'm watching guys camping and I'm going, geez, that's really annoying. But then as coaches, and I can tell you this for a fact, you've got coaches in the Seagull and the NBL that will camp guys in that weak side. The coaches and the players are smart. They will adjust. There's not many not many coaches and players that get to top level, which is obviously where all you guys are aiming to go, that aren't smart. And it's going to be the same thing for you guys as referees. You're going to have to be intelligent, understand the game, and your manners going to help you too. So what we'll do as coaches now, we'll hire a player in the back of that keyway, knowing he's not going to get a 3 second call. All right? And then as someone penetrates, we're in great rebounding position. Or if you watch Perth Wildcats, if you watch New Zealand especially, what they'll do, and just happen to be the top 2 NBL teams, they'll hold that guy in under the back of the keyway, and as the penetration comes, they'll loop him under into the strong side. Penetrate, little done, pledge it, 2 points. So the coaches are going to adapt. It's the same deal as when we go to Europe and play. When we go to Europe, the minute we get there, I can guarantee you the first 2 games, Australia, travel, 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 travel. Because when we dribble a ball in Australia, we take off with our foot, throw the ball down, pick our back foot up before the ball hits the floor, our foot's left. Now, we would never call that in Australia. We don't call travel. In Europe, the minute you throw that ball and that back foot comes off the ground, if the ball's not on the ground, it's a travel. So within 2 games, all of our players adjust to this. Dribble, back foot off the ground. So the players will adapt. All right? And it's the same thing with the, when I talk about travel. Travel used to absolutely drive me crazy. And this is what I'm talking about with you guys. It's a really hard call. And I know I've had many discussions with Graham Laverne on this. He goes, if we call all the travels, the game will be over. You know, it would take forever. Sorry, it would never end. It wouldn't be over. It would never end. And one of the classic examples I give is when we coached John Riley. He was the best at travelling to an advantage. All he would do is he'd take a little step like this, and when he takes that little step, as a defender, I have to adjust. And as you adjust like that to that position, he'd take off his way. And it never got called. And it was only ever like this. It's a small step. Straight as a defender, because you know he can shoot, you go like that, but you can't get too far off him, and then he'd cross you over. It was a travel every time. In Europe, that would get called. In the NBA, it wouldn't. So again, when it becomes judgment call, that's something that you guys are going to have to live with, and you're never going to have that perfectly done. Coaches, again, will get used to how you referee a game. Players will adapt to how you're playing a game. One of the things that really is going to be tough for you guys, and I talked a bit about it a minute ago, is your manner. And I just had the great experience of the under-14s down in Ipswich. And there were some kids, because I'm fairly questioning coach, I hope not yelling at those young kids, which I don't think I did at the state tournament, but there were times I would say, can you explain that call and why that call? And that's really confronting the kids. So I'll try and hold it back a bit, but I will try and keep them accountable, because I go, well, I want you to think about this, and I don't want you to keep making the same mistake. And how do you handle that? And there's one young lad there, he was probably struggling with me a little bit, and I was really trying not to give him a hard time, but his immediate thing was, no, that's it, and walked away. I'm not going to answer that. No. And then there was another kid who came up, and he was brilliant. I think I had a chat to the supervisor after, and I'd say, why was that call? He goes, oh, in my opinion, I thought it was this. And he never lost his nerve, and he always answered nicely, and I'm trying to be nice, and every time I threw something at him, he said, I may have missed that. And I went, oh, good answers. And the answers that sort of stopped the confrontation. It wasn't, no, you were wrong. It was, I may have missed it. Okay, coach, I'll watch for that. And they were things that, I don't know if anyone's taught him that, but it sort of stopped my argument. Now, had I kept going on, when he said, look, coach, I may have missed that, I'll keep an eye on it. Had I kept going, well, make sure you bloody do. Now I'm crossing the line, and he's then got the right to say to me, hey, that's enough. I go, no, you look out for that call. Now he can start getting on my case, because I'm crossing the line. But I didn't need to cross the line, because he gave me an answer that just settled everything down. After the game I said, his manner, and I don't know who the kid was brilliant. And what you'll find if you guys are reffing Siebel, MDL, QBL, and all these top leagues, you're going to have players who are experts in the game. They've been playing since they're 14, 15. You're going to have coaches who've been coaching in the game for longer. And if you see, if you have a coach go off his trolley and you tell him he's wrong and he's an expert, for example, these old guys, we have all the old guys playing basketball here in Townsville. And they asked me to come back and play, so you've all got rocks in your head. I will be teched out of there in about 2 minutes, because I'm an expert and I think I know everything and I'll never be wrong. And sure enough, I'm hearing there's texts flying because they're grumpy old fellas. Alright? But why that happens is they're running around this comp and they get hit on the arm and they go, hey, ref, call that. And now the referees, how do you handle Robert Rose, Pat Reed, Andrew Goodwin? No, he didn't hit you on the arm. Now, you've told me, when I know I got hit on the arm, that I didn't get hit on the arm. Don't tell me I didn't get hit on the arm. I got hit. No, you didn't. Straight away, you see the conflict, and straight away, a senior player like that, don't you dare tell me, whereas you get, straight away if I go, hey, I got hit on the arm, and you go, hey, I might miss that, Rob, I'll keep an eye out for it. Next thing out of Rob's mouth, Shane's mouth, Pat Reedy's mouth, is, well, good, make sure you do. End of argument. So it's a real skill. I think you see Scott Butler definitely has that. I can't tell you how many times I'd be frustrated in games and Scott would turn and go, you see him come up and actually touch guys and talk to them. So that's a real skill. And I could almost suggest doing a It's not a negotiation thing, a confrontation training to try to get answers that lead things to a stop without being confrontational. Because I can guarantee you, coaches are always going to think they're right, and the players are always going to think they're right. No matter what you say. At times, even if you use that, I'll look for that, they're going to get more and more frustrated. So on that, probably the most important thing for me as a player and a coach are the easy calls. Because I understand how hard this thing is for you guys. The judgment calls are tough. Was there enough contact to call a foul? Wasn't there? But things like, the things that drove me the most crazy were the ones that were the easiest calls. Someone lines up, foot on the line, and you as a referee are 3-pointer. Now when you're talking high level NBL, WNBL, even some of these local clubs, that's just a vision thing. Are you looking at the right thing? It's a position thing. Are you in the right position? Now, out of bounds, I see players run out of bounds clearly with a foot out of bounds. Were you in the right position? Those little things are the things I believe you need to be absolutely brilliant at. When it comes to the judgment thing, I think the toughest thing for you guys is getting consistency. So if you're going to let the big guys beat the shit out of each other in the post, then you've got to let it happen both ways. Because if you let the game, if you're refereeing a game and it's going to be very physical in the post, and you blow up one way, down one end, and then you blow 3 down the other way. Let's take Grant Kruger for example. And he will beat the living daylights out of you, as I used to. And he will get fouls. Probably fouls he doesn't deserve.
Yeah, that's on purpose.
Yeah. But all of us, as soon as I say, all of us have an opinion on Grant Kruger and what he's going to do. Because we expect that from him. And what I'm trying to tell you is go into those games not expecting that from him. Blow it as he does it. Alright? If he might come out and have a game where he doesn't do it. But everyone's expecting it, so you say, oh, I'm going to get this one. You might be on edge, waiting for it. Blow it as it happens. Don't go in with a judgment on someone. Because again, I was very much the same. I would go out and I would push the boundary as far as I could. I certainly wasn't there for my skill. I wasn't a scorer. But I would lock you down and beat the living daylights out of you if the referees allowed it. Alright? So, if you're going to let the posts beat each other up on one end, let them beat up on the other. Alright? If you're going to allow hand checking one way, you better let it go down. Because that's the one thing I'm saying on the judgment stuff. If it's all one way, and coaches will go and cut every single frame of video. They will take every single play and they will cut. I will look at every contact, every foul, every travel, every three-pointer, and I will get an analysis of the game. Alright? But if I walk away from the game and go, you know what? They didn't call that. And then I look at the video and go, well, they weren't calling it at that end either. I'll say, you know what? That game was consistent. It wasn't refereed poorly. They missed some calls, but they missed them both ways. And that's again, even when I go back to that under 14 boy who struggled with me, he made a lot of mistakes. But he didn't make a lot of mistakes against us. He made a lot of mistakes both ways. So I wasn't angry at the young lad at all, because he was learning. But I was talking to him, one, trying to get him to understand that I need you to call it right. Two, I'm trying to steer the game a little. I need him under a little bit of heat. You guys got to be under heat. He's going, shit, I don't want that coach on me again. He might give me a couple of calls. And if you think coaches aren't doing that, you're kidding yourselves. They will work you. And they will go, it's 5 fouls to 0. What are you doing? What are you doing? You've got to balance this up. You don't got to balance it up. Coaches are going to, and it's going to be human nature. You're going to go, oh, they're attacking. Oh, we better, should we do it? No. If I've got a team that's hacking the heck out of people and they're clear fouls, that's what you call. if I'm Shane Froling or Grant Kruger, and I go out and I just beat the heck out of him straight away, all right, and it's illegal, blow it on me. On my third foul, I bet you I'm not beating the heck out of him. So that's what probably the message I have. The most frustrating thing is if you're blowing a game inconsistent and you're missing simple, obvious calls. And there'll be different regions. You get told as you get to travel around the country and the world, you get told to blow things differently. And it's very rare that I've ever seen what would I won't call it cheating, I call it dubious refereeing. Very rare I see it or would ever accuse anyone of it. I mean, it's definitely happened. We've been in Korea where we're up by 3 points and Rob Rose shoots a 3-pointer that far from the line. 2-pointer, 2 only. And the next guy comes running through the key, edge of the key, throws up a running hook from the elbow. 3-pointer! You know, and we're like, what? And we lose after about 3 of these incidents, and we grab the referee. What? He's like, you are a visitor. We cannot let you win. This company will not employ us to referee anymore. And I've got, you know what, when he said that to me, I was like, you know what? The guy was flat out honest. He didn't give us any bullshit. He didn't say, oh, no, that was not 3, and that was 3. He went, this is our job. If we don't do the right thing, and you see it in America all the time, the home calls, the college coaches over there get to pick referees. They select who's reffing in their competition. So they're the only times I could honestly say that I've seen some dubious refereeing. But not anywhere here. I'm talking juniors, seniors. Have I gone out and said, look, I think the referees are cheats or they manipulated everything. So, but you're still not going to change the manner of the coaches. The coaches are under pressure. You've got a lot of guys out there earning $70,000, $80,000, $90,000. I've always said that being a professional basketballer, or any sport, or a professional coach, if you do 5 years in one place, you're doing damn well. Because you're either going to get cut for the next person because you're not good enough, you're going to get cut because you're getting too old, you're going to get cut as a coach because you've lived your lifespan. And I've seen 2 coaches in the NBL make the grand final and get cut the next year. So that's your income and that's your emotion coming out, and you're going, hey, you counted that as a 3 when it's a 2 and I lose by 1 and that could have put me in the final. I'm going to be furious. Do I hate any of you? Absolutely not. But I'm going to be furious. And then you can expect at that level, as I said, the video cuts. And I was unfortunately involved here one year when we probably targeted one bloke fairly heavily. And part of the coach's instruction was, go and cut every single call. And on every single call he wanted to know what was a single whistle call, a double whistle call, or a 3 referee whistle call. And he wanted to know the percentages. So this is how these guys are scrutinising. Right? They're going to look at what calls you're making. Is your other ref backing you up? How many are right? How many are wrong? I'll also, there was a time I did, the NBL actually asked me to do a referee breakdown of referees' games. And if these things take hours, I'm on video for 3, 4, 5 hours, frame by frame, clipping, cutting. And I put down a couple of the games, I think it was 3 of them, and I blew how many fouls went for us, how many went against us, how many points we got off that possession, how many times we got to the foul line. And the strategy going into all this stuff, you've got to know that. I had to analyse referees, I had to analyse what calls we were getting, and there's the gentleman in Perth, Rob Beveridge, I do a bit of work with him, and we go up to Indonesia and do that, and we sit down and talk quite a lot. If any of you are doing NBL, he will know your game inside and out. He gets his coaches to sit down and he goes, I want you to analyse that referee there and see what his most favourite calls are. So we'll watch our team, the other team, and the referees. And Rob Beveridge will study. He'll go, right over with the referees. Great. All right, whenever we play with this referee, if you drive to the basket, they're going to protect it. This referee always calls handstands. So today we're running penetration plays. This referee over here never calls any contact. So we're setting for the jump shot because they can just beat the shit out of us every time we drive. This referee calls a game. If we're pressing up the floor, it's foul, 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 foul. Let's run 3/4 or half-court press where it's not up the floor. And it's, I mean, I don't know how many of you guys would expect that, but he does such a brilliant job in that scouting. He's winning games because of that, because he understands his opposition and who's in control of the game. So I don't know if you guys have heard anything like that before, but that's how in-depth those guys are going. Other than that, that's pretty much my opinion on how games are played and ref. Some of my experiences, I could give you a million of them. And you know, I had a good conversation with one of your people down the road at Ipswich, and he was one of the guys teaching. I looked over a couple of times and I saw that while he was instructing, he was looking away and talking to someone beside him. And there were 2 calls where one of the young kids was having trouble. And I'm going, can you call? And I called him over. I said, those last 2 plays where the guy got hit on the arm. No, that didn't happen. That was a good call. I said, well, hang on, I was watching, because the play was over here, and you didn't even see it. And I probably got distracted for 2 minutes. That's how much I cared about the game. I just wanted to talk to him and go, look, your role here as an instructor is to teach these kids. As a coach, I've got to teach my kids the correct footwork I talk about, how to come off a screen, how to play with. Your job is to help these referees. Don't tell me that that didn't happen. And we got into a bit of to and fro. I said, look, I'm going to beg to differ with you because I'm an expert in the game. Been in the game for 25 years, 30 years, played national, international, coached both. That's your opinion, was the answer. I said, no, I'm telling you, you need to help these kids by teaching. That shouldn't be my job. I'll still question to let them see how their mind is. And again, he hit me with, that's your opinion, that you're an expert in the game. And right to the point where I ended the conversation with, no, that is not my opinion. My opinion is I'm a goddamn expert in the game. So don't tell me when something happens. And so he was really standoffish. He was the only guy there. But again, why did I challenge him? Because I didn't think he was doing his job right. Did I hate the guy? Absolutely not. Did he watch the game for the second half? You better believe he did. And that's what sometimes coaches are going to do. They're going to steer things to try and help you, one, hopefully help you get better. I certainly am not condoning out of control coaches, and I know I'm very vocal, and I've heard other coaches be very vocal. Like I'll be in here, and I'll be coaching kids, get there, do this, come on, hurry up. And I'd probably lift the bar far higher. I believe our under 12s, 14s and 16s can do far better than what we expect. So I push them up. That's how I was taught as a kid. We had a guy ready to kick us in the, literally kick us in the backside if we didn't go. He was an old army fellow with steel caps, and he used to sit there, and if we didn't jump high enough or run far enough, he'd kick us up the butt. We had Barry Barnes, Australian Olympic coach, stand Dean Uthoff, who was 6'10" with a basketball, and say, because Dean couldn't do a lot of the running or hard defensive drills. And we'd be playing defence, and man ball, and Dean would be standing there, and Barry Barnes said, if he turns his head and just looks at the man, I want you to throw the ball at the back of his head. As a young lad, this thing, if you ever saw Dean Udoff, he does some stuff for the Sydney Kings now. He's a great big ball guy. Iron Man, he's counting your hand over his deltoids, it's massive. He whistled this ball past my ear, I thought it was a bullet. I never turned my head on defence again. Alright, that was the pressure that we were put under as players. We all rose. That's how I coach. Do I ever swear at my players? No. Do I ever call them idiots? No. Because once I cross that line, I've taken to a bad place. Do I yell loud and demand excellence? Absolutely. People walking at you and go, God, he's a lunatic. He never shuts up. He's always talking. That's coaching. I heard Rob Rose coaching one go. People were like, God, he never shuts up. That's coaching. And that's people yelling. So don't get people yelling and people coaching confused. Some will be very quiet. Lindsay goes. Phil Smythe. Phil Smythe was great. He could come up and abuse you and smile at the same time. So the cameras are looking at, all the NBL cameras and go, great, what are you doing, idiot? And they're like, what'd you take him for? He's smiling at you. So they're all going to have different methods. You're going to have to deal with different people. My biggest advice again is if you can find ways to terminate the conflict and end the conversation. Again, they cross the line, it goes on. And you're going to have coaches. Ian Stackle was tough to deal with. He would go, and if he had something with you, he would just keep staring you down, and you get some of those referees who would stare back. and I can't tell you how many times I would just step and I'd break the eye contact, because that was enough. If I just walked between the two, that was enough for the ref to turn and get on with business. There's some guys you just go, my God, they're not going to back down. So don't take it to try and avoid that high scare contact stuff. That's pretty much all I've got. I'll be talking in circles if I keep going. What I will do though is if anyone, and I really hope that you don't sit there and not have any questions or thoughts or scenarios or things that you've seen in the past, or I know I've had some games many years ago that might have excited some people or caused a bit of tension. There's many a referee I've had to yell at, but again, back in my day, after we had that conversation, we'd go and have a beer. And I think I remember it changed when I was up here in Townsville. Michael Allen came to town and we lost, and I think I'd ridden him pretty hard that night. I'm sure I rode him fairly hard. And afterwards we went out to Bullwinkles for a beer, and it was reported in the paper. Referee drinking with players. I think we lost. He wasn't doing me any favours. We were mates having a beer. And there was a thing sent out saying referees no longer drink with the players. So that magic of what we all used to have now makes us versus you. So you're in a really tough situation. The magic of being able to come up to the bar afterwards and have a drink, we can do it in some of these smaller associations. That's gone. And a lot of the time people will get over their heated things. You guys don't cost us fines very often, trust me. So I will open up, and I really hope you have some questions or thoughts or ideas.
I'll start with, I mean, you've coached and you've played for a long time.
Yep.
what is different about the game now in terms of how you coach and in terms of some of the systems you run compared with when you were playing in the 90s?
Yep, okay, well when we played back when I was younger, it was a very physical game. And I can always remember the Europeans going, oh, no, no, no. Australians, punchy, punchy, very physical. And things like trash talk. That stuff was gold. To listen to Leonard Copeland, and I really believe we've over-sanitised the game. You know, some of my greatest memories were going to places that you called feral. I mean, back in the day, Townsville was called feral, or as Brian Gorgian said, rednecks. And the town went crazy over it. So we were allowed to play like that. Now, if you trash talk, you get a warning. If you get too emotional or physical, that's really toned down. So what I'm teaching my kids today is I'm teaching them to be strong with the ball, because they can get it taken off them very easy. I'm teaching them systems that get them open, because players cannot be as physical, so I'm running them off multiple screens. And I'm trying to teach them 1 or 2 plays ahead. All right? And that's the hardest thing. Kids who I coach now can see when they receive the ball, the next pass or passing the pass. All right? And the postman can see that I want the ball. What I'm trying to teach them is if you seal your man, now he's fronting, we get another pass over, we get the easy pass in, and I'm trying to get that weak side defender to help so the other guy can flash into open space. So I'm doing a lot of that. The other thing I'm doing is I'm getting things like bump pads, and I'm teaching my kids to put their shoulder in and make the layup under contact. And one of the great comments I've had at the last 2 classics, but geez, your kids finish strong. Because I don't know that we are great at protecting the shooter right now. I think we're getting into this hands-on and channeling, because I'm really teaching my kids a lot of great defence, hands-off, whereas I used to steer people with the arm bar and 2 hands-on. If the ref didn't call it, great, push them to that corner, push them to their weekend. That's definitely changed, but the contact going to the basket, I'm now teaching my kids to be shoulder, not jump into the guy, but shoulder in, eyes on the ring, and finish. So things like that, I'm really teaching and trying to get them open. The next thing I'm teaching is rebounding position. I always want 3 on the boards, 2 safety, and one of my 3 on the boards is where? On the weak side. Alright, I've got one of my 3 sitting down in there in that weak side hole, ready to rebound or ready to slip underneath, and he's not going to get 3 seconds. I don't think we had 1 3-second call called for us at the state classics. So I'm going to look at every game on you know, how I think the trend is, but then I'm quickly, if I have, like I had 1 referee 3 times at that tournament, I'm quickly going to assess what he calls. I'm going to play to that.
Shane, before you said about the referee who openly really missed something or whatever,
Yep.
maybe not under 14 level, but at what stage in the game would you go from being honesty to
See, that's something that if you're finding yourself doing that all the time, you obviously need to work on your game. If you go, you know what, I missed that. You know what, I missed it. And I'm not saying to say you missed it every time, but if it's something you go, you know what, I did clearly miss that. You know, I wouldn't do it a lot. I would just go, you know what, yeah, I may have missed that. I wouldn't say, yeah, I definitely missed that. You know what, I may have missed that. I'll keep an eye. Now, where can I go with that? Well, you're a bloody idiot. And you just call me an idiot. Take foul. Same with the swearing. I just can't believe the swearing I hear on the courts. I grew up with Bill Mildenhall, Ray Hunt, Eddie, refereeing in Victoria. And let me tell you, it was rough. I think in my first game I got a finger chop to the throat from a guy in Bendigo, and he dropped me. So for the next, we only had 2 refs in. The next 3 or 4 times up and down the court, I'm looking at Ray, I'm looking at Bill, I'm looking at Ray, and I can't throw punches because you get suspended. There's this whack, Liverpool kids playing, he's out, Barry Barnes out. What is it? That, they let the play get rough. If you wanted to be cheap, then you got cheap back. But if I swore, and it was black and white. That's what I talk about with you guys, with your rules being so hard. There's so much grey. Is it a travel? Isn't it a travel? Is it 3 seconds? Isn't it 3 seconds? Is it disadvantage? Isn't it disadvantage? Can you swear? Can't you swear? And I think every state classics I go to, when the referees come and talk to me, I actually request, especially for my kids, I actually request with the referee to say, if any one of my kids swears, protect them. And I have my captain and my kids hear me say it. And now my kids know it's black and white. There is no swearing. So hopefully, to go back to your question, you're not admitting too often. But don't be scared to, because it shows you're human. And believe me, the mistakes you make, our players are making many, many more than that. I can't tell you how many times I have a timeout, and even at this one. And I talk about basketball being a smart game, and I'm telling my own son and one of our other smart players, go out and run this play. Time in. Another play. I go, come over here. I go, are you trying to make me look silly? No. I go, what did I tell you to run? Oh, horns. What did you run? Turnouts. So what's wrong with that? And that's how demanding I'll be. They'll make more mistakes than you guys ever make. So admitting to 1 or 2. Oh, if you're admitting to a dozen a game, you might find yourself in trouble. So please don't take it as admit to every mistake you make. But 1 or 2, you might, well, he's new. And again, I go to Scott Butler. Scott would come up, rest of his arm, he goes, I'm one of these. Oh, good. You're human, you can talk, that's really good. Really good. And I still have a great rapport with him. But don't get me wrong, I used to get frustrated as hell with him. You'll be able to tell how many times that I get very frustrated, that's the type of person I am. But I don't think I've ever really, especially in NBL games, gone, you're right. Things like that. So I haven't had the great Mel Cooper, and I'll never forget it. I was criticising his game, and I was at the foul line, shoot the first shot, it was a brick, it was terrible. So they get the ball thrown back to Mel, and Mel goes, Shane, you might want to lift the elbow up and pull it in a little bit. And I went, touche. Here I am telling him how to do his game, and it was beautiful, because he was human. He had knees down. So we are here at the moment. Do understand at that high level, those players will be fighting for money. Does that give you what you want?
Yeah.
Anyone else? Don't be quiet. Don't be like my players. Milky. Yep.
I was just going to say that you were touching on Corey about admitting you're wrong and all that sort of stuff. I think when you get to this level of QBL and you go further, a lot of referees now should be self-evaluating themselves.
Yes.
Yeah,
absolutely.
And I mean, I know myself. I say to KJ, mate, I've missed that one.
Yep.
I'll work 3 times harder the next time to make sure I don't miss the same mistake, so that you can't or you don't admit again.
Yep. Why are you, when you're making those mistakes, why are you making them, do you think, mostly?
Lapse of concentration,
yep.
Maybe a little bit of fatigue.
So out of position?
Out of position, didn't work my butt off to get into the best position.
Yep.
And it's quite a simple game because everyone's moving.
Yep.
If we don't adjust at the right time to get into the best position, we do miss stuff. as you say.
And,
But yeah, and the other point I've got is just when dealing with players and coaches, everyone's different. So your approach to them needs to reflect what the situation is at the time.
absolutely.
You know, if the coach is absolutely irate at you, don't go over and try and be pally with him.
No.
Short, sharp, precise answers, that's what he wants to hear. He doesn't want to hear the whole heap of bullshit.
Yeah.
So,
And if you've got a doubt in your mind, don't answer doubtfully.
that's right.
Just go, okay, coach, and I've taken that on board. But if you've got a doubt and you're like, oh, I'm second guessing myself here and no, you're wrong, then you create that conflict. I'll go back to your first one about self-evaluation. I guess I was blessed having Jenny referee for many years, and she probably caught the worst of it because she really understood her level, and then she'd come home to her ex-NBL coach, and being an ex-player, being an ex-coach herself, she would ask for a DVD after every game. And after every game, we would go home, and she would sit down and look at her game. And I mean, it's the last thing I know a lot of people want to do. And I know that the NBL referees do it sometimes straight after the game in the change room. I don't know if that's a good thing. I think it's better to go home and evaluate yourself. We as coaches are evaluating, as I said, players, our decisions, what we do. If you want to be the best referee you can, get every game you have and be honest about yourself, critique it. And Jenny would critique herself, and then I'd give her a coach's tip. I go, why didn't you make that call? Oh, that wasn't right. I go, it wasn't my call. It was someone else's area. I go, hang on, rewind, frame by frame. Right, there is a clear path. There is no one there. The foul happens down here. The guy shooting, you see the arm come across. You're telling me that's not your call. No, it's a lead referee's call. Is that a foul? Yes. Why didn't you call it? She's a rookie at that time. I don't want to step on other referees' toes and call my area. No. If it's clear and you have vision, why didn't you call it? As a coach, that's what I expect. And she's telling me no. The instruction was, and she was a beginner at that stage, so she didn't know what the heck she was doing, as all of you will find out. She got better with it, but there were still rules that you guys have that differ to us, what we expect. And that's what I talk about, this game being so hard for you guys. In today's game, you've got so many grey areas, and now you've got to also not step on people's toes. To me, I don't know if that's right. I think if it's a clear-cut call, call it. And if I'm the referee who should have called it, I certainly wouldn't be, I hope I wouldn't be offended that you did call it. I hope I wouldn't be going, geez, you called that, you made me look like an idiot. You know, I would be going, hey, you know what, if that's the right call, that's what's good for the game. That's what I would hope is happening. But again, I think Jenny got better just by reviewing everything. And there was not one game that she did not sit down and cop me for 3 or 4 hours going frame by frame. What's this? What's that? Why isn't that travel called? Why is that contact? Why wasn't that called? You know, so big commitment. But if you want to get to where Michael Owen and all those guys are going, to the Olympics, and held in high regard, Scott Butler, he took himself to America to do NBA pre-season camps. Paid his own way. No funding, no NBL, nothing. And they rate him. I know quite a few people over there, they're like, geez, this guy is good. So if you guys want to get to that level, you can't just expect to go out and referee every day. If you want some of the kids you're teaching to get to that level, you can't expect that you turn up for your $12 per hour and they're going to make it if you just sit there and talk to the person next to you. Give them honest feedback. My kids, the kids I coach in basketball, right down to my own kids, if they are doing the wrong thing, I'm merciless. That's incorrect. You must do this right. And I've got to know what I'm talking about. I can't tell them it's something and then they go away and look like fools because they've been told something that's not right. So you've got to know your game. You've got to become better at studying yourself and correct any little things you have wrong, and that's how you get to the top. If you want to be, let's classify you as trying to get to be elite footballers, basketballers, whatever. To get there, you're going to have to study, train, work hard, and you're going to get very little reward for it. But your reward will come when you're travelling with an Australian team internationally. And there's a lot of Australian teams. I mean, one of my daughters has just finished nationals. She's off to China in 3 days, just on a tour. There's teams going to Guam. If you guys go away and do national titles or do well at QBL and NBL level, there's tours on offer. And let me tell you, when you get on those tours, they're brilliant. We had Tony go to Amsterdam last year. I went and watched the girls play in Amsterdam. She went away with the under 17 and under Australian team. I reckon they didn't have a great time, those referees. They were having a ball. So really good experiences if you knuckle down and get into it.
Just to answer your question, with you mentioned before you hope that the referees go just because in your area doesn't mean it's going to be not called.
Yeah.
I know 3-4 years ago at Southern Conference for QBL, Scott Butler was up doing his talk, and he mentioned we had also one of the guys from FIBA there doing previous talk, and he said, the one thing as we all know, there's only 2 actual referees that FIBA rank in Australia, that's Scott and Michael, and probably Vaughan now too, so we've got 3. Australia very good at being umpires, but we're very technical.
Yep.
What Scott was saying he expected from all the referees, especially 3-man, where you'd likely have either a NBL or WNBL referee as crew chief on the men's game. He demanded from that if they saw their partner miss something as a call critical to the game, who cares if it's the area, you call.
Yep.
If it is critical and everyone sees it and they miss it for whatever reason, doesn't matter, but it's necessary for the game, he expected a call. And he said for the women's game too, he said certainly don't go and hold out calls to your partner and make them look stupid, but do what's best for the game. And then at the end of the game, you can discuss with your partner why you missed that call or something. Because it could be, I know I've done it, I looked at something else and got distracted, and something's happened right in front of me, I missed it, or a player's come in front of me, I didn't expect it at the exact same time, and yeah, you just do get blocked, and yeah, your partners had to come in, but the point was, we're here to do the best thing for the players, and the best thing for the game, not do everything technical by us.
I would expect that sort of instruction from Scott. And but I was just throwing out that I certainly know of people who get really offended if people call in their area. And if I can advise you guys, and again, Scott and the people like that will be advising you to do what's right for the game. If I could advise for any of you guys that if it happens to you, try not to be offended by it. It's just the referee trying to do an all-round job. And it's going to be hard. Some people's egos, that's like players. There's some players out there who give me the ball, I'm always right. And you're like, play the team game. There are there's people out there that don't, so that's really good to hear.
As a coach or a player, though, I know a couple of the Kai players and coach have mentioned to me, if they feel a referee needs the excuse, oh, it's not my area. No, handle it, like swear and go off the run. Because they say, who gives a shit? Just get the call.
Absolutely.
I don't care if you're down the other end of the court.
Yep.
You know, at least get the call right.
Yeah.
Because it's...
So I'd avoid using that term.
Yeah.
I'd avoid saying, it's not my area. Because that is one of those ones that may cause conflict.
That'd be one of the worst terms to use, wouldn't it? Can you blatantly yes, I saw it, but I'm not calling it because it's not my go-to.
And like I said, you're going to have some that you get right, some you get wrong, and you don't want to, as we said before, admit to everything being wrong, but every once in a while. And the best do it, Ray Hunt, when we were coaching with the Crocs, we're in Wollongong, Clarence Tyson went up for a shot with both arms ripped, Ray went foul, baseline ball. But it was such an emotional game. I think we were 20 up and we lost. It was such an emotional game. I mean, that's foul shots. So no, fly ball. And then next time out, he walked past me and goes, "Oh, I stuffed that up, didn't I?" I went, "Yes, mate." And we lost that game. We were 20 up in the last quarter. We lost by 1. So those foul shots could have made a whole difference. But did I think Ray Hunt was a useless human being? No. He made a mistake. We're angry at the time. But he actually showed me some humanity. Anyway, any other questions? All right. Fine. I'm going to go and find my ex-referee wife.
Thank you, Shane, for coming in.
Very happy today. Our girls just North Queensland just won the national title. Beat big country. So, amazing stuff. Thank you for your time, guys.